Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kyra, and here on this channel we are all about real makeup for real life and real people. So today's video is a sort of wrap up from creating my capsule makeup bag. I will link that original video down below and in the cards in case you missed it. But basically I took a concept from Harry Makes It Up and created my ultimate makeup bag. That's including 3 categories, which I'll briefly describe. You have your makeup underwear, which are the products that you wear every day without fail. You don't need more than one, you just need the one that you chose. You have your makeup staples. These are a variety of products that you feel like always look good on you, always work for your skin type, your skin tone, but also add a little bit of variety to your bag. So you might have more than one blush, but maybe only one bronzer, etc. And finally, your makeup wild cards, and those are the pops of color, the products that you use to elevate and add excitement to the rest of the products in the bag. So I did go ahead and put my bag together, and now I want to show you some of those products in action and give you a few further thoughts on why I chose these products, how they work for me in a way that makes them qualify for the ultimate capsule makeup bag. I'm feeling the fall vibes today. It's very cool this morning. It's lovely up here in the beauty room. I even got a little chilled for a minute. So I'm gonna do a semi-fall inspired look. I did go ahead and start off with my Paula's Choice Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense Broad Spectrum SPF 30. So that is my SPF as well as my primer. We're gonna get right into foundation or coverage. I'm gonna use my Missha Perfect Cover BB Cream today. I have 2 shades. I typically need to mix them most of the time. So I'm gonna start with a little bit of shade 27, and then I'm gonna use a little bit of shade 23, which is the little bit more gray tone there. It does have a good amount of SPF. It has SPF 42 PA+++. So I always feel like things that have a lot of sunscreen in them are really best applied with your finger, with the warmth of your fingers. And then of course, I'll go back in with my sponge and just make sure everything is blended and looks as skin-like as possible. All right, next is concealer, and we are talking my favorite concealer in my collection, although I definitely feel like I have a drugstore alternative for you, and that is the Kosas Revealer Concealer. This is also meant to have, you know, eye cream kind of qualities to it, which I find not only fascinating, but thrilling. I think it definitely shows in the formula that it is some kind of a hybrid between concealer and eye cream, because it is just so hydrating, and yet it doesn't move around. It gives really nice coverage. Now, my drugstore alternative to this that I think is super duper close, though it doesn't claim to have eye cream qualities, is the Wet n Wild MegaLast Incognito Concealer. Very full coverage, but very hydrating, but also long wearing. And that's what I love about this one as well. I feel like both are kind of interchangeable, but I do like the skincare benefits that are included in the claims of this one. Anybody else just like all aboard for fall right now? I was like, no, I want summer to stay a little longer. And then I just woke up one morning and I'm like, yeah, I'm ready for fall. I think I'm ready for fall. I just think that is an absolutely stunning concealer. Again, could use this for the rest of my days and be totally happy. It's the only concealer I included in this capsule makeup bag. So I hope that speaks to just how much I love this product. So even though I'm going to use a cream blush, it works pretty well over powder, I feel like, and especially this particular powder. So I'm going to go ahead and set the face because I am going to do powder, bronzer, and highlight before the blush. And my powder is the LYS Triple Fix Translucent Setting Powder. I picked this because I not only like it on the face, I also feel like it does a nice job under my eyes. It doesn't accentuate texture or cause it to look dry. This powder sets while not taking away the texture of the makeup that is under it. It, you know, if there's a natural glow there, it allows that natural glow to come through. It's just a beautiful powder that does actually set your makeup. This bronzer has been my favorito for a long time, and it is the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronze Coconut Perfect Tan in the shade 104 Tantastic. This is the lighter of the two shades. Unfortunately, as some of us know, Marc Jacobs is rebranding or getting a, I don't know what's going on over there, but I do know I love this bronzer. It is always the perfect tone for me. I feel like it's not too warm, but it's not by any means cool tone. It bronzes and warms the skin beautifully. The thing I also really like about this is that it's very buildable. So it's a product that could potentially work for you or me year round, because you can build it up to look more sun-kissed or leave it more natural, you know, more of a natural warmth and or, you know, shaping to the face during the winter time. And while it's matte, I don't think it looks flat or one-dimensional or anything like that either. This also has a place in my capsule makeup bag too, just for the fact that it has such a lovely mirror, and I could easily do my entire face of makeup in this beautiful mirror. Number one favorite highlighter in my collection. Hands down, easy peasy. You might know what it is if you've been around for a little bit. And that is my Nabla Skin Glazing Glass Skin Finish Glow Powder in the shade Privilege. This is such a beautiful shade. It is unique to my collection. I feel like I can see champagne, I can see gold, I can see peach, I can see a tiny bit of a warm pink in there. And I just love this. It's a beautiful, glowy, glassy cheek look that really is going to work with every look, in my opinion. Of course, they have a lot of shades in these. This one just makes me so happy. I love that it goes with everything. I love that it doesn't look like a stripe, like a fakey stripe of highlighter. I just prefer more of a natural glow. Before moving on to our cream blush, I'm gonna go ahead and set my face with the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the mini, and I love this stuff. I really was skeptical when I got this. I really did not expect to like this, and at first I kind of even thought I didn't like this, but turns out I really do, and I'm probably going to end up with the full size at some point. So before we go in with our cream blush, I'm gonna go ahead and just go over everything with my sponge, which is just lightly damp. And then we are going to add one of my favorite blushes, but also one of my favorite blushes for fall, and that is the Nudestix Nudies Matte All Over Face Bronze color in the shade Beach Babe. I really love this color, period, but especially for fall. So I'm gonna pick that up on my e.l.f. 105 brush here and get to going on these cheeks. Now, as a reminder, my other options for blush in my capsule makeup collection are the Tarte Amazonian Clay blush in the shade Party. Just a beautiful sort of neutral pink that works with a lot. If you not catching it, the theme here is products that would work with a lot of different looks, in terms of makeup staples, that is. And then the other one is my Flower Beauty Blush Balm in the shade Pinched. And I do really love that, and I almost used that one today, but when I remembered this was in here, I was over the moon. So I'm very excited to be using this today. And it's just such a beautiful sort of rosy, terracotta, sunburny type shade. And while, you know, fall is not necessarily sunburn season, I do love the way it looks on the cheeks. I'm just taking any excess that I have and putting it up at the hairline. And then I'm going to go over with my sponge. And I do feel like this is a shade that a lot of people could use, even fairer skin, because with cream, you have so much control and sort of working space to make any shade work for you. You know, I have really dark cream blushes that I absolutely love the color and tone of, and I just share them out. All right, next are eye primer and brows. For eye primer, I always use the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Amplifying Eye Primer. I love this. It's the only one I'm probably ever going to use. And then for brows, two of my all-time favorite products. Number one, an old-time favorite, which is the NYX MicroBrow pencil in the shade Ash Brown. It just works. Super fine tip, great spoolie, and not too warm of a shade for my cool tone brows. And then a new favorite is the Kosas Air Brow Stuff. This is the clear one, although it's looking pretty gross by now. And I'm definitely going to repurchase this. It says something about it being a treatment gel, and I honestly feel like my brows have gotten a little better since using this. Like, they're filling in the areas where I put the gel, and that could not excite me more. So I'm going to put the gel in first, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill in a little bit with the pencil. Alright, it's eyeshadow time. So, two palettes for my capsule makeup collection. Number one, my Persona Identity palette, my beautiful, my precious, my very well used friend. And secondly, a custom palette of single eyeshadows that I created for myself with just some more fun, interesting pops of color, duochromes, etc. So let's get into it. I am going to start things off with the Persona palette. I did go ahead and set my eyeshadow base with the shade Humble here, just a light peachy shade. And now I'm going to use the shade Charming for my transition. The Persona Identity palette is the number one palette that if it ever was going away, I would have to buy a backup. I just cannot imagine my eyeshadow life without this palette. I would be very happy for a long time with just this palette, I think, but eventually I would want some color, and I think single shadows are a great way to add a few pops of color to play with in your collection if either you rarely use color or you're just starting to kind of dip your toe in. Next, I'm gonna go into this beautiful rusty orange down here called Audacious. And this is going to go on the outer part of the lid as well as up into the crease. And I feel like with the shades in this Persona palette, you could just build so many different looks. And I love that they have like this pop of rust in here, as well as this plum down here is a favorite of mine. You guys, my son is just finished his first week of college today when I'm filming this, and I just am so I'm in disbelief. I can't believe I have a college student. It blows my mind. It feels like not that long ago that I went to college, and that was, well, 21 years ago. Oof. That hurt. For the outer part of the lid, I'm going into the last shade we're going to use today in this palette. It's called Goddess. Such a beautiful bronze, and it really packs a punch, so we're going to, you know, take it slow. I'm going to pull that up into the crease just ever so slightly. And then I'm just going to take whatever's left on the brush with the tip of this brush and run it along the lower lash line. We're going to use this shade right here called Apricot. It's such a beautiful shade from Sydney Grace. And I'm going to put this on the middle to inner part of the lid. And I'm using this sort of pinched fluffy brush because it can take thicker metallic shadows like these from Sydney Grace and thin them out, make them a little bit more smooth. I feel like this shade is such a perfect shade if you're like looking for a fall color but not wanting to go super vibrant. And just to make today a little bit more special, I'm gonna go ahead and foil this shade. I like to apply the shadow first, get a clean brush wet, and then just pat over the top. I find that I get a lot less texture on the lid than if I would put the shadow on and then spray it and then apply it. So if you ever have trouble with your foiled shadows or spraying your shadows, making your shadows look kind of dry or flaky or what have you, try this trick. I think it works beautifully. One last thing, I want to go back into Persona Identity and take the shade Audacious. I'm going to take it on the flip side of the brush that we used for the shade Goddess. And I want to take this and just sort of pat it in between the two shades just to add a little bit more of that orange back into the mix, because I really feel like we lost that. For eyeliner, there's only one for me. It's the only one I need. I prefer a deep brown eyeliner, and this one from Wet n Wild does the trick for me. It's the Kohl eyeliner in the shade Simmer Brown. Now I'm just going to deepen up the upper lash line, the lower lash line, and then tight line. Very easy. I don't know if you can tell the subtle difference between the two, but I feel like this eye, even though I just added darkness to it, looks more open. And then my favorite brush for smudging is just this little short smudger brush from the Vintage Cosmetics Company. I got it so long ago in BoxyCharm. Just take that and sort of soften everything. Lashes are curled, and I could easily use this mascara forever and be very happy, although I'm sure it won't be around forever. But it is the e.l.f. Lash It Loud mascara. It's a really nice, pokey silicone brush. I do sometimes poke myself in the eye, but far less than I previously did, now that I'm used to it a little more. And I love this mascara for both length and volume. It's called a volumizing mascara, but I really personally wouldn't have touted it as such. I think it's more of a lengthening and separating mascara, and I don't know, I just really like it. It is more of a wet formula, and if you do find that you have trouble building on, you know, like a wetter formula, I recommend you let the mascara dry completely, the first coat, before you go in with the second coat, and then it will really build on itself. Otherwise, if it's not completely dried down, if you try to build on it, it's just basically going like this and continuing to pull the product off of your lashes versus building on something that's already there. Love, 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 love. So now I think you can really see what a difference the mascara and that little bit of eyeliner can make. I do feel like I want just a little more blush though. And I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up on my sponge this time. Just go like so. And just really get this on the cheeks. Perfecto. Okay, I feel much more like myself. Okay, now for lip liner, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my Milani Nude Entrance Liner. This is my second one. I have a feeling I'll be buying a third before the end of the year. One of my favorite fall lip colors, but honestly, let's be real, one of my favorite colors of all time comes from one of my favorite formulas, which is the NARS Velvet Matte Lip Pencil formula. This is a mini and the shade is Dulce Vita, and I just love this shade. You can really apply it in sort of a more sheer manner, but you can also build it up. I really love this color. One of my faves, one of my faves. All right then, this is the completed look. Let me know down below, what do you think of this look? Do you think you would be happy with the amount of makeup that I picked to include in my capsule makeup bag? I do feel like I would be happy with these products for quite some time. There's a lot of products within the bag that I feel like could be combined or used in different ways to make the entire bag more versatile overall. But I've really just enjoyed working with this sort of smaller curated collection. From time to time, when I'm not using Project Pan makeup, I've been using this makeup and only this makeup to create certain looks, just to see how I feel about this makeup. Do I really feel like this could be my one and only makeup for a period of time? And I really do. These are products that are not only favorites, but they're staples because they always work, they always look good, they work with my skin type, they work with my skin tone. So let me know down below, have you guys put together a capsule makeup bag? If you did, what would you put in it? What would be your makeup underwear? What would be your staple products? And what would be your wild cards? Because I really want to know that, because I'm nosy. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really love having you guys here and chatting with you. If you did enjoy today's video, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing so that we could see each other in my next video. But with all of that said, I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful makeup days.